You get the levels right?
Yeah, so we're here at Linaro Connect 2013. So who are you?
I'm Linus Valleij from ST-Ericsson and the Linaro kernel working group.
And who are you?
I'm Peter De Schrijver, working for Nvidia and visiting this Linaro Connect.
So what do you think so far about Linaro Connect? What are you doing here?
I'm basically keeping up to date with my working group. We are planning new subjects, working ahead. We're investigating different technical areas, we could say, for probing for areas for Linaro to go further, to investigate them and basically that's it.
And what are you doing here at Linaro Connect?
I'm also attending sessions, talking to people about some topics and issues we have at Nvidia and we would like to see resolved, like upstreaming some parts of our code and checking on how we should proceed in upstreaming more bits of our code, what approaches we should take and that kind of stuff.
So is it possible to upstream Android code back to the Android stuff? AOSP, does it happen?
What do you say, Peter?
I haven't really been focusing on AOSP myself. I'm mostly a kernel person, so most of my upstreaming work goes to Linux ARM kernel and is not really Android specific. So I can't really give you much comment on that.
Yeah, I've been looking into some areas. So basically, when we bring in a new Android release, I usually go over the source code tree, especially the kernel, see what's in there, just have a look, just to get an idea about the diff stat. Basically, we see what the changes are. And then we find all of this kind of strange stuff that John Staltz is analyzing for the Android, from the Android side of things here at Linaro. And basically all of that creates a problem for the different SoC vendors, because it's different from the base kernel stuff. So we have the base kernel and we're working with the community on that, and then we have this funny icing on top, and sometimes we have to go into that and fix stuff, and then it becomes our problem to maintain this parts of this delta, so that we want it to go away.
So what can Linaro do? What is happening within Linaro to solve these challenges?
Yeah, John Staltz, as I said, he's like one of the guys driving the Android integration working group, and they are looking at the same thing that I look at when we get the new kernel in the door, going it over, breaking it down into different items, like we were discussing right now. He sort of has this bug droid cut up thing that he has a very interesting slide set where we sort of break down the different features that the Android people have put into the kernel. Some are really nifty, and like for example the ashmem stuff, and that's generically useful and could be used basically with any memory constrained system. And then we have power management stuff that has come out of Android that's been quite controversial. And it's one after the other thing. Right now, as John showed on his diagram, they are changing stuff in regards to CPU FREC, for example, and they are working with networking, what do you call it, paranoid stack? That was called paranoid networking, yeah. And so basically the delta is building up at the same time that it's being reduced, but at least we're doing something about it. But to make a permanent change, I would say that maybe Google, as they mature as the world's leading phone platform, they will move closer to the community and go more into this kind of de facto standardization. What do you say, Peter?
Yeah, I would hope so. I think one of the problems is that the fact that the Android kernel is so different, or has all these deltas, makes it hard for vendors who would like to support things besides Android as well. Like we also support people not running Android on our SoC, so for us it would be very useful if the normal kernel or the normal mainline kernel would have all the bits supported for Android, because then we could maintain only a single kernel and test everything on a single kernel instead of having to fiddle with build options and build everything twice because Android wants to be different.
So what kind of other software works on the...
We have... what kind of other software runs is automotive, for example, doesn't use Android. At least our automotive customers don't use Android. Some of them, I think, have their own stack, and I'm not sure. Not sure what all of them are. And then we have this thing called Linux for Tegra, which is basically Ubuntu with our own graphics drivers and some other video decoding drivers, etc.
Is it the first time you're at Linaro Connect?
No, I think this is the fourth time.
Fourth time?
The first time I was last year in February in San Francisco, so this is the fourth one.
So what do you think about Linaro Connect?
I think it's a useful event because there's many other people working in the same area, people I talk to on the mailing lists, so and there is often very useful sessions on various topics, mostly in power management, which is my domain, but also I also go to sessions on other topics which are sort of related or are areas where I know we have a problem and we need some help, and it would be useful to talk to other people on how to solve stuff.
Is it possible to get work done here, or is it just talking with people, or what is it?
It's possible. It is possible to get work done, I think, but I think I at least try to spend most of my time in discussions and planning and sort of more high-level design things than in actually trying to work on codes. Although it sometimes happens, but most of the time I think spending time talking to people is more useful because we only have this like 3 times a year, so we should make good use of the time we have.
Yeah.
Do you think the ARM ecosystem is cool?
The ARM ecosystem?
Yeah.
What is the ARM ecosystem? There are many levels to the ARM ecosystem. This is one of them. This may be the middle layer or something. The ARM ecosystem was built up from beginning with the RISC PC in the 1990s, and at that point it was a hobbyist project driven by Russell King and a few others. I think Wookie was actually a part of that at the time, and since then it's become something much more corporate, we would say. ARM as a company has definitely started to show much more interest over the years if we take the really long perspective, which began with the ARM integrator family, reference design and so on, because their customers requested it. So it's been, it has its own history, I would say. Whether it's cool or not, I don't know. I think it's cooler than Intel, because Intel is the IBM of chips. Like it's very large, very cemented, very standards oriented in a sense that they work a very long time to document and specify protocols and interfaces for absolutely everything, which also has a good side to it. But to somebody who just wants to work on bare metal hardware, I think the ARM ecosystem or the ARM world is more interesting, because it also brings interesting challenges, and it also upsets kernel maintainers for not being structured enough. So yeah, if you like a little bit of fighting and really not knowing where on the map to go, and there are lots of white spots, like if you're Livingstone down in Africa or something, then ARM is definitely the place to go, right now at least.
There's some people you want to talk to here at Linaro Connect? A bunch of people?
Yeah, there might be some more people I want to talk to. I talked to several people already about clocks and other stuff I want to look at. But yeah, there are probably some more people I want to meet. I need to check that.
You?
For me, it's basically there are lots of people who wants to talk to me actually, because I'm a subsystem maintainer and my subsystem is quite young. The pin control subsystem, so people come to me with all kind of questions, and that's usually how I use my afternoons. I'm sitting by my computer, and then there's this guy from this new company that just joined Linaro, and he says, I'm going to work on this pin control stuff. Can you please explain to me how it works? And that's how it works. I guess I should be seeking out people more. So if I can. Well, I'm basically an introvert guy, you know. I just act extrovert. So they need to come to me.